Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've got a special treat for you today, a little bit different than normal videos that we've been doing. We're in Tucson, Arizona. I'm at my brother's house right now, and we're picking up a new truck. As a lot of you guys saw, Liam is gone. He's on to another owner in California right now. You know, I'm a little sad about it, but it's gonna enable us to finish up the El Camino, and it enabled me to buy this new truck. So it's a little bit different than we normally do, so bear with me, but I just kind of did a video on, you know, the whole trip and how it went. So, yeah, we'll just dive right into it. Flight wasn't too bad. A little bumpy, which I don't know, I actually kind of liked. Made it feel like a fun ride. So we're here for the new vehicle. Anthony's supposed to be picking us up in it, so we'll get a nice view of it coming around the corner here. Oh, and there it is. Alright, there it is. Almost got hit by a little red car already. Yeah. Take a stupid fucking ass off. Yeah. Here's your POS. Yeah. You want to drive it? What are you talking about? No, you drive it. I'll do video and stuff. Oh, this seat's nice. I mean,
it's comfy. It's dirty.
It's dirty as shit, but it's nice. Yeah. Oh man.
All right. So I pulled the steering wheel. It's still way off.
Shit.
And with these new tires, it now doesn't drive straight. It pulls to the left.
Oh, really?
So I'm not sure what happened. So that's kind of annoying. But
okay.
But yeah, here you go. 324, 735.
Yeah. A little bit less than the red truck, so we're good.
Yeah. And you don't have the needle in this thing. We could try to pull that this weekend, but it's off. So kind of just gonna go reverse.
Oh, for that
neutral.
Thing. Yeah. That's alright, I'm used to counting it.
Yeah, anything else you want to know? Oh, here you go.
I'm happy about all of this. Yeah.
That's for you.
It's pretty wide. Oh, man. Yeah, I was explaining when you were rolling up, I was like, I feel weird checking a bag because, like, normally I just keep everything in a backpack even for, like, a pretty long stay. I was like, it's like right at 40 pounds of tools that's in there. I just stuffed whatever I could for a 40-pound limit. But yeah, here it is. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be confused as hell why
you would drive all this way for it.
Well, why we'd even get this in the first place. Like, I've never expressed any interest at all about, like, diesel stuff or, you know, old trucks. And, so yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a change of pace. What are you talking about? That sounds fine.
Sound?
I mean, feels fine, sorry. Sounds awesome. I'm gonna start my first diesel video. So what you do here is you just crank that motherfucker up. Great.
Dude, it's so sexy. So disc brakes, engine mounts. What other things that we need to do? I feel like there's another. Oh, the pump. That's the biggest problem.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I need to make a list. I need to put a list on my phone. Otherwise, I'll keep forgetting.
And then I just wanted to tinker with your throttle control, and I was thinking of the fan. It needed heat. No, he's saying just pop it in.
Everything is sooty.
Once we fix this pump, you will have a non-leaking first gen, which is almost unheard of.
Out of here. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Dude, stuff doesn't come off. I don't get it.
Did you dip it?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's good.
Starts up so good.
It's weird. Like, I don't have any vehicle that starts up
Mine starts
that quick.
Let's go. Yours is like
Just immediate. The first piston that goes up, it fires. All right, so we got here to my brother's house. We're gonna nose in the truck and just do a little bit of maintenance. Like we talked about earlier, there's a couple of things that were probably, they'll probably be fine to drive home, but it's a 900-mile trip. We wanna make sure that this thing doesn't, break down in the middle of nowhere and leave me stranded. So we're gonna do a couple of just the necessities. Anthony's been working on it quite a bit before we got here, just fixing some little leaks here and there, and so it's running pretty good right now, but we're gonna do some basic stuff, just oil change on it. The brakes we're gonna do as well. Same thing with the blower motor. We ordered one of those, should be here tomorrow, and because it looks like everything is in there for AC and heat, but doesn't work. So we're hoping that it's just the blower motor is old as hell and doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, we got new tires on it, and I mean, these wheels came on there. They're growing on me. I'm not a huge fan of them, but they definitely are growing on me. Just trying to basically prep it to be able to make the trip back home. I think it's around 900 miles. So yeah, this is the new truck. All right, what we're gonna do, well, I should probably get changed because you can't touch anything on this without getting dirty.
pretty much.
All right, so we did a couple of things just real quickly. Just put a new belt on it. The one that was on there was already kind of cracked, and it didn't seem brittle, but again, 900 mile, just, take the easy wins when we can get them. Swapped out the battery. The one that was in here was borrowed from his truck because the one that came with the truck died. But one of the other things that was a big pain in the butt on this was the steering wheel was like 90 degrees off. So it's already been taken off and moved a little bit, but it needs to come a little bit more. So we're just gonna run through this real quick and get it straightened out. So right now, unfortunately, we have a little bit of a leak in two spots on the vacuum pump. And so we're gonna try to go ahead and replace one, but we're gonna try to get in a little bit deeper and replace the other seals that may not be leaking right now, but they're going to later probably. So we'll dive right into it. We gotta take the whole pump out. Okay, so first thing that we were going to do is take this line off right here. That goes to the power steering portion of this, but it was really, really on there. We didn't want to break anything. A lot of these hoses and everything obviously is really old. And so we had a choice, either cut that line, and there's plenty of slack in it, we probably could have done that, or try to leave that on there and separate the vacuum pump from the power steering pump without removing this line at all. So we're going to give that a try. It looks like we have enough room to pull this portion of it back and separate it from the vacuum pump so that we can do it separately. So that's what we're going to give a try. All right, so it looks like the plan's working so far. He's getting ready to pull this out right now. We seem to have plenty of slack. All right. That's our poor gasket with an attempt at RTV on there that is leaking like crazy.
Previous owner. Yeah, we got plenty of room here. So we're gonna knock these bolts off and try to tap this out.
Yep. And we loosened those bolts up when it was still secured onto the case because we didn't know how tight they were going to be. They were relatively tight. So since we weren't taking the pump all the way out and going to be able to put it on the bench, we wanted to make sure that we had the ability to put enough torque on them to get them loose because it's a little weird down there now. That's the downside of this, keeping it connected, is that it's got to hang out down there. All right, so we got the pump off of, well, I guess we got the vacuum pump off of the power steering pump. Those bolts that we were looking at that we loosened up ahead of time, when you take them all the way out, it didn't take a whole lot. It's just a little light tap from a rubber mallet to get it to separate. And see this keyway, we'll deal with that when we have to put it back in there. We just want to make sure that it lines up with where it goes into the vacuum pump. But we have it out, sitting here, and this is the part number to the kit that we got. So we got tiny O-ring, medium O-ring, looks like a shaft seal of some sort. I'm not actually sure where this goes. And then this flat one that goes up against the case in here. So we're gonna do a little bit of cleanup, and we'll start taking this apart. There you go.
Yep, that was definitely not a gasket anymore.
No,
that was
it's plastic.
Yeah, I think I could just put this on and then. No, I just wasn't square.
This, and you should be good to go.
Yeah. Let's call that field dressed.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got it running good enough. We're all set to head out on this 900-mile journey. We got a couple of things changed out. Anthony helped me with a ton of stuff. I gotta say, like, thanks to my brother. He helped me out get the truck in the first place and spent a lot of time on it before we even got there. And then we spent way more time than I expected to getting, like, the brakes, a couple of leaks fixed. You know, the wheels ended up being more of a pain in the butt that we thought using the other spacers that we got. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feel this comfortable about the trip if it wasn't for all of that work that he did before and during the trip. So it was good. I mean, we got to see my niece and nephew and you know, Anthony and Elizabeth. Always good to visit, but then to have this is just huge bonus. So thanks again to Anthony and Elizabeth. But yeah, we should be ready to go now. Transmission seems to be, it acts a little bit weird cold, so actually I think it's quite a bit low on fluid, so I'm hoping that gets rid of the cold, you know, the way it acts when it's cold. But as far as for this drive, it's driving perfect. So I don't have an RPM gauge at all. These things didn't come with one. That was like a trim level sort of option. So I'm not too sure what kind of RPM I'm going to be cruising at on the highway, but it needs a little bit of an alignment, unfortunately. I wish we would have had time to get that done, but you know, so I don't know how fast I'm going to be going on the highway anyway. I drive pretty conservative. Anthony was making fun of me earlier for, you know, driving like a grandma, especially in a vehicle that I'm, you know, new to. I'm gonna be driving like a grandma pretty bad. The other thing that he helped me out with was we got this thing in here rigged up. The cigarette lighter, the power outlet that was stock in there, didn't work anymore. But one thing that's really nice is better than any of my cars right now, except for the Fit. Liam didn't have a working radio, and my red truck doesn't have a working radio, and this one does. And I get connected to Bluetooth, so I'm gonna be pretty stoked. It's got like 1.5 speakers, but it sounds 10 times better than any of the cars that we have. Needs a ton of cleaning, I get it. We're gonna clean the crap out of this and see if we can get this seat to come back a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. It's an old truck. So, but yeah, we got a bunch of stuff loaded up in the back. Got our spare tire on our brand new wheel. We bought that wheel specifically because we didn't have a spare wheel of any kind. And then I just used the best tire of the ones that we swapped out on this one for the spare. And we got all of our fluids and everything, and you know, spare parts and things like that. So I think we're ready to go. Basically, I'm just going to be adding fluid to the transmission every stop that we do for fuel, which is going to be pretty often. I don't really trust this fuel gauge. Plus, I want to see like how good a gas mileage we're getting, because there's a couple of things that I want to do to this thing in the future. It's not going to be a crazy amount of like racing stuff, power stuff, but there is going to be some like maintenance and technical stuff that we're going to do on it. And one of the things is trying to get as much gas mileage out of it as possible with, you know, the factory stuff, factory converter. So we're going to try a couple of things, and then maybe get a different converter, and then maybe eventually get a completely different transmission, and just kind of document the progress of all of that. Yeah, so the video won't be that great. Obviously, I'm going to be driving the majority of the trip at night. I'm going to try to get as much done tonight as I can so that it's a, you know, short, easy drive tomorrow. You know, we'll probably just do some checks at each gas station, make sure everything is good, kind of get acquainted with the truck, I guess, more than we already have. All right, guys. So far so good, but we're about, well, so far so good for both me and the truck. Truck's doing great. Finally got it to the point where it was actually full on transmission fluid, and it's driving way better, actually getting better gas mileage too. So that was probably like 3 quarts, maybe 3.5 quarts low the whole time. But yeah, I guess we've already passed up 2 of the spots that we were planning on getting to, so I'm just gonna keep going because I don't seem to be tired. But yeah, we'll take it easy. If I get tired, we'll stop for the night, but I think we'll be able to go a fair ways. Yeah, if I can go all the way through, it'd kind of be ideal because then I get home at a decent time, but we'll see. We'll play it safe. Well, it was all going so smooth, and finally ran into our first problem. So got a pretty big issue. I heard a little bit of a squeaking when I was driving down the road, and I thought it was nothing. I just thought I went through some water and maybe it splashed up onto the belt. But turns out it was the tensioner failing. The pulley on there just kind of walked itself off, and the belt was actually rolling on the metal arm itself. So I don't know how the heck it didn't just immediately destroy the belt, but I drove for like 15 minutes like that. I only pulled into this gas station because I wanted to get some headphones because I couldn't get the Bluetooth to work on the stereo. So really lucky that I came in when I did. And after I came back out, I started it back up, and it, was squealing again. So I shut it off. I'm like, oh, I should probably take a look at that. Sure enough, yeah, the belt's not even on the pulley. So luckily it's still holding the belt tight and everything, but it's not rolling on it. It's just scraping on the metal arm. I guess it's smooth enough to where it hasn't destroyed it yet, but it's 5 in the morning, and stores don't open up until 7, and there's a town about 6 miles, and they have the parts that I need. Problem is getting there. This is out in the middle of nowhere. There's no Uber around, and luckily the guy in the gas station is about to get off in about 30 minutes and is nice enough to give me a ride over to the parts store. So probably gonna have to walk my happy ass back from there, but if I can get rid of one leg of the trip, it's just a giant help. So really appreciate his help. I don't even know what his name is yet. I'll have to meet him here in a second officially.